All right, Roderick in Rosenberg, Texas. How are you?
Hi. Yeah, I'm good. How you guys doing?
We're all right. Pretty good.
Yeah, I called to ask you guys.
Can we turn that down?
I grew up in a Southern Baptist family, and where I live in Rosenberg is really Southern. I'm actually from Warden, but you moved out here is really no different. And my parents really grew up that way, and I've been raised that way. I'm a musician. I was raised in the church. That's how I play. But ever since pretty much the age of, I know it's kind of silly, but 5, as I look back, that's when I really started becoming an atheist, because I guess it runs down the family line, but people on me and my dad's side of the family, they're algebra teachers and chemistry teachers. We tend to think logically, and people on my mom's side of the family are more country, But my mom and my stepdad are really strict Christians, and I'm about to get on to college and move on, and I'm engaged, and I'm trying to find a way to tell them before I leave without them seizing my assets. Because
that old problem, yeah.
Yeah, me and my fiance are kind of in a bad situation. Court case, she had to move with her dad, so I only see her every once in a while, and it's, there's just been a shooting threat at her school, and I'm worried, and I need my phone to, keep in communication with her, and I'm a musician. I need my instruments. Yeah. I'm an artist. I need my, and they...
Why do you feel the need to tell them?
Yeah, I would suggest...
Why do you feel the need to tell them?
Don't tell them right now. That would probably be the best policy. This is not the time. I mean, you have a lot of serious things going on, and you're right. I mean, if you lost assets and lost support that you need right now to get through some very real-world issues that you're in the midst of, deal with those first. There will come a time to out yourself to your family, but it doesn't sound like now is it.
Yeah, and which is I would kind of say, okay, I actually dealt with the same question from somebody else the other day after the Blog Goddess podcast, which was, am I being dishonest? Am I using them? If they would take away my financial support, then the answer is yes. You are clearly being dishonest, and you're using them. And my response is, I don't really care, because I consider it far more immoral for them to hold your education or their love or their support hostage to the fact that you agree with them about whether or not there's an invisible man in the sky.
Yeah, and I think about it all the time, and it also goes into, I'm in high school, it also goes into school, and I'm in football, and I hate football. I want to be a professional wrestler, but my parents are making me play football, so I have to deal with that. And on top of that, me, with the exception of another dude, he's trying to choose whether he's an atheist. I don't know. He's confused, but everybody's like a Christian, and the coaches are like really fundamentalist, and I have to deal with it before every football game. They pray, and my mom also works at the school, and my stepdad works at the junior high right next to it. So there was times where people have asked me, why don't you believe in God? And I've tried different religions. Satanism was a big one with them, but it bleeds out to my parents, and they found out kind of before. But we've had many arguments, and I've kind of held them to believe that I'm still a Christian, even though I have really never been one. And it goes into school too. It really annoys me. Pretty much every day I go to school, I'm getting God put on me, and these people who don't even live. There's a football player on my team. His dad's a chemistry teacher, and I'm telling you, the very thing that your dad is teaching almost disproves, what you're believing. But not even that. They don't even take the time to study it. We've had debates in the locker room. I've gave them packages of verses that contradict themselves, debates, Dan Barkin, all these debates, and they're too lazy to go look at it. But then when they're praying and I'm stepping back, they want to shake their head at me, and it pisses me off.
Yeah.
And I have to deal with it.
Yeah. It sucks, but high school sucks for any number of reasons.
Yeah.
That's just one of them. I would say, all I can really say is, this too shall pass. But right now, when you are kind of, under their roof, and you have a lot of other factors in your life where there are just situations that you don't control, that other people have control over those situations in your life. You know, you have your academics, your coaches, the sports you do, and your family, and you kind of have to kind of get along. And it can be amazingly frustrating, you know, to just be constantly bombarded with religious stuff and things that you don't believe, and it's this. Best I could say is this is a test of character at the moment. Unfortunately, I don't really see any kind of response to this other than you're gonna just kind of have to write it out.
Well, there's a couple things. And I would say, in addition to writing it out,
because we've all been there in the situations where we've had to kind of write it out.
And I would say, in addition to writing it out, write it out. Start a diary, take notes of what's going on, and then when you get on the other side of all this, you can write a book, and that book will resonate with a lot of other people who are stuck in similar situations. But the decision to come out, and by the way, Greta Christina has just written a book on coming out, which is either available now or going to be available soon, and covers a lot of the ground and more than we could possibly cover here. But the decision to come out, you need to be comfortable with all of the possible consequences of being ostracized and alone and having to start over and having relationships end. And you have to care more about being who you are and wanting people to care about you and respect you for who you are than whether or not they care and respect you.
Yeah.
And you'll know when that time comes. And I keep telling people there's no reason to make a big production out of it. We need more out atheists by, you know, no two ways about it. But if coming out is going to ruin your life, then just stay closeted until we change the world around you where it's a little safer for people to come out.
That's a good idea. You know, start a blog or a Tumblr or something, and just kind of vent there.
Okay.
And, you know, but it's a good idea. It will help you dealing with all of this, and then setting it all down in writing, I think, will also help you process your feelings about all of it.
Yeah, I'm a songwriter, so I get where you're coming from.
There you go.
Write us some more music.
Yeah. Do an album.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Roderick. Appreciate the call.
All right.
Good luck to you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.